Yeah. Oh, yeah. What's up, everybody? This is Dominic D'Angelo, and I am here with one of a kind with RVD. And guess who's here? I mean, guys, guess
Here.
it's RVD. Rob, how are you, man?
About that, man. Excellent. Excellent, dude. Happy this week to you.
Happy this week to you, too.
Yeah.
The Ides of March returning, I guess. You got quite the shindig going on happening, huh?
Yeah, man. I had 3 girls dancing to a little higher.
Yeah.
Seconds ago, you missed it. Thanks again to Seth from Venice Beach Digital Community, or whatever the fuck that stands for.
Close, I think.
Oh, no, wait, it is Venice Beach Dub Club.
Yeah, Dub Club. That's it.
Duh. I only looked at the 4 letters and didn't think about looking past that. Anyway, yeah, awesome. I had, I read the comments and my YouTube page from the readers. I had one time somebody said, Rob needs to find another place to do his podcast. It's like too much movement going on in the background. I thought that was funny because I think it adds to it.
It does. I like it too. It's a neat element, I think. Stuff's going on. Stuff is happening. Stuff is definitely happening, Rob. Guys, we're live.
Making out behind me.
See, you can't go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But we're live, guys. If you want to chime in and definitely get a question asked, use the super chat. Feel free to promote anything or ask Rob a question. We got a lot of fun stuff to cover. We'll keep it nice and tight today. But what we got to start off, I think, with is a little bit of the conversation that happened this week with WWE and somebody you know very well, Mr. Paul Heyman, getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame coming up. Philadelphia, it's appropriate. What a name! I mean, he's kind of long time deserving. It always seemed like Paul didn't want to do it while he was an active participant on air and stuff like that. From the reports I've heard, but Rob, what do you think of this happening for Paul?
I think it's really cool. I think that, it's giving him his well-deserved flowers. I worked with Paul, obviously, in ECW, so I have that perspective of him with his hands-on skills of building superstars, helping talent find their way and connect with their skills, and maybe definitely even exposing some of their weaknesses so they know about it. And he's just always been that guy that obviously we can all say ECW wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for him. The whole effing show wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Paul. But when I was in WWE with Paul too, I really got a kick out of seeing the WWE wrestlers giving Paul the same respect that we did in ECW. And, on the outside, especially knowing the bigger picture like I know now, all the wrestlers and all the companies grew up watching us anyway, so of course they respect us. But didn't feel like that when I was there in the boots, when so-and-so was wanting to give me a running power bomb into the corner and just talking to me like more like I'm his nameless opponent for the night is what it felt like a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
To see certain talent pull Paul aside, ask for his advice, and for him to be giving it and take certain wrestlers under his wing. I thought that was awesome because, obviously WWE is a much bigger pond, and to see him getting the respect and see it working there and seeing his effect on the much bigger show, I've always enjoyed that. That's always been real enjoyable for me. So to see him in a position now where his decisions, I don't even know how much of the show he's controlling, but I know that he has a lot to do with creative choices that are made, and to see him get credit for that, and on top of that, being in a top position in the production like he is, man, it's really awesome. And I was thinking of maybe not going to the Hall of Fame this year, and once I found this out, now I'm thinking I probably will go.
Yeah. I mean, a big talk about, like, as always, when somebody gets announced, they're like, whoa, who's going to induct him? Who could it be?
Right.
There's been some names out there. Obviously, I've been making the play for you, like why you would be a good person to induct him, obviously. And then there's other names like Steve Austin. People mentioned CM Punk's another one. Tommy Dreamer's another one maybe out there too. Well, how do you feel about that? Who do you think should induct Paul, and what do you think on that level?
I think they can definitely find somebody better than me. You know, it would be an honor if, and of course, if I was nominated and asked to do it, I would give it my best. And I think that I would want input from other wrestlers too that I think should have got picked probably over me. I mean, Dreamer, Bubba, Taz, those guys, they know Paul a lot more than I do. They were in New York. I would see him on the weekends. They'd see him all week too. And they were there in the office, in the production studio, helping move the TV forward, also with the merchandise and just booking towns, everything. They really worked with them. And so there's that. And then even before ECW, you know, he managed a lot of wrestlers, and some of them could probably tell some good stories about Paul transitioning from being the fan that was selling programs to the camera guy to, you know, actually managing talent, or however might have, if that pathway is flawed, then excuse me, but it was something like that. And I know we were, you know, the Samoans, I don't know if they speak English that well, but there's definitely some other, I mean, I don't know, franchise, Shane Douglas, I'll put him on my list, and I don't know what their relationship is, but that's how I feel about it. You know, I'd be honored. Of course I would do it. I would want input from everyone else. And I feel like I only knew one, maybe two sides of Paul.
Yeah. Well, I think it's cool though, like just knowing how you handle yourself on the podcast here and the way you kind of deliver stuff, whether it's RVDology or something like that. It's like, I know even off the cuff, off the top of your head, I'm sure you could give something like that's really good for Paul and like really conveys who he is as what he did for you and what he did for others too. And, you know, so it's going to be interesting. There's a lot of good names that I think could do it. And Paul's influenced so many people. You just even look at it now, like him being with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline and stuff like that. It's like, big name after big name and stuff.
And I wonder if maybe they'll go with someone along those lines to induct him, because it would be more consistent with the bullet points that they're trying to make that week with business and with Mania. And you know, if not one of the young bloodlines that he's managing, maybe someone in their family. I don't know. I could see them going with like that, which could be a current angle, but it's where they're at right now also, as opposed to, but I don't know. I just found out there's no categories. I thought, like, I had heard they were going to do like an extreme wing or something. And then I was talking to, I think, Bill Apter the other day, and I was saying, what is the category that Paul's in? He's like, no category. He's just like you. I said, really?
Yeah.
Like, what about like Pete Rose? Doesn't he have like a special celebrity?
There's a celebrity wing. They do have a celebrity wing.
Oh, they do?
Yeah. There is a celebrity wing. So Pete
now
Rose,
I'm more confused than ever. Thought I understood it, and you just threw that at me.
Well, okay, so I think that's the only. Well, no, not technically too, because I do.
There's a warrior. There's a warrior wing.
There's a warrior award. So somebody like a Shad Gaspard or something would win the warrior award, who won it, I believe, 2 years ago, maybe. But like somebody that's done a lot, you know, or like overcome something. And then there is the celebrity wing. So I think there's names like Donald Trump, Drew Carey, Pete Rose, Mike Tyson, I believe, is in that wing. Snoop Dogg, I think, too. There's some others.
But so my understanding now is that wrestlers or, I mean, I don't know. What's he getting in for? Is it for being a manager or for being a booker? Or
I think it's all around.
Okay.
All around. Because, like, there's your, like, structured Hall of Fame, like, so you're in there, you know, like Bruno's in there, you know, name everybody, Steve Austin, whoever, you know, and Paul is going to be a part of that. Now there's also a legacy one, which is people that weren't necessarily involved with WWE, but still had like a bigger impact in the business, like in an earlier time. So like Lou Thez or a Frank Gotch or Bobo Brazil. Yeah, there's an underlying wing basically.
How about like Greg Gagne, his dad?
Vern, I think is in your Hall of Fame, so he's a part of your guys', I think.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know how they distinguish it between one another. Like Bruiser Brody's in the other one, you know, in the other wing, the legacy wing. And
when I introduced the Sheik, maybe he's in the legacy one.
He might be in the legacy one. I'll have to double check on that one because, So So, but yeah, there's a core one that all the names, you know, when they have their induction speeches or like they have a moment for them, that's the one Paul is going to be in along with you and, you know, other legendary.
Cool. Well, it's great to see him get his flowers, and what an important man behind the scenes he is.
Yeah, 100%. Jeez, all this. You hear everybody talk about him in certain ways and what he's done for them. And, you know, even you just mentioned it too, like the people that, you know, the younger talent that kind of goes to him. And like, I'm sure he was very proactive backstage and like kind of giving people input and stuff.
Of course. Yeah.
Definitely congrats to Paul Lee. Another name that's rumored, not announced. And I just kind of wanted to get if you had any good stories. We might have talked about him before on here, but Haku's another name like that's been thrown around for the Hall of Fame. And he's very deserving, one of the legit toughest guys in the business you always hear. You have any good Haku stories, Rob?
You know, I all of my encounters with Haku have been very good, but I don't have any interesting stories. Last time I remember seeing him was at the Cauliflower Alley Club earlier. I don't even know if that was this year or last year because it's usually in April, but that's coming up. Anyway, several months ago, you know, whenever I see him, he's always he's one of those guys. He's just always been made me feel like he really appreciated me and seeing me, and always happy, big hug, and so I've always looked forward to that when I see him, and I've always respected the hell out of him because of his reputation. You know, knowing that dude, you know, doesn't mind taking out 5 or 6 guys in a bar. The short way, not with high spots, getting right to it. You know, that's we all respect, I think, the guys in the business that are tougher and don't have to pretend and are more genuine. You know, so that growing up, he was awesome. He was King Tonga and the Tonga Kid. They were a tag team. I remember reading in WWF magazine that Tonga Kid carried around a trampoline, a little portable trampoline with him, and that he would practice jumping on it in the dressing room. And that's how he got so high for his top rope splash that he would use. I remember believing that as a little kid, you know, wow, that's so cool. And then I ended up doing a pretty high top rope splash as well. But that's you know, I don't have any stories or any like one-on-one experiences or anything like that. Yeah.
I got to meet him actually. When was it? When I was in Tampa. He was there for like a Top Guy thing for ad-free shows, and he was back there hanging out. I got to introduce, so it was pretty cool. Very nice dude, super nice. Yeah. Have you seen the clip that's floating around of him on Dark Side of the Ring watching the Shockmaster?
Like, I just saw that last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, man, it's so good to see such a genuine belly laugh out of him. It was just, we were all watching that last night, and I was like, I can't believe they're showing this dude trip on the documentary, like of his dark side. Like that thing is living with him forever. And instead of just one spot, he screwed up. Like, man, that poor guy. And then Haku, like he just kept laughing and laughing so hard, you know, it had me laughing. And then pretty soon it was funny, you know. Yeah, so genuine, and you could tell he'd never seen that before.
Yeah, it was pretty funny stuff.
Yeah.
Another name that did get announced too is Bull Nakano. Do you have did you cross paths with her ever?
Never.
I didn't think so, but yeah, she I know she made a big kind of wave there in WWE in the early 90s when she'd fight Medusa one-on-one, and that's kind of where she got mainstream play, and then obviously in Japan a little bit, and then she went into pro golfing apparently too. So, but yeah,
was she with All Japan Women?
Yes, I believe so. I know she got her start there. Yeah, so pretty cool there. It's got. I'm intrigued to see who else. I'm crossing my fingers for Sabu. That's my number one. I'm hoping.
Yeah, sure would be cool. And how many do they induct, anyways?
I think it's like 6 or 7.
Okay.
Somebody in the chat might know. It's about 6.
And we're hearing talk of 3 at this point.
Okay. Yeah, so 2. Paul's confirmed, Bull Nakano's confirmed, and the rumor is Haku at the moment. So
okay.
Those are the only ones kind of set up for now. So it'll be interesting to see how it all lays out, especially for a place like Philly. You know, Man, the reception that Paul's going to get there, it's going to
Yeah.
be pretty good.
Yeah, those fans are going to be loud and boisterous, and they're going to be very proud.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's going to be heartfelt from all the fans in Philly. They're going to feel like we did this.
Boom, yeah.
You know, because it's their support, their love, their energy that allowed ECW to thrive the way it did and to hit everyone across the world. And they're going to take note of that. They're going to feel it for sure.
No doubt. Philly's going to be rocking that week.
Yeah. What arena? Do you know what arena the Hall of Fame is in?
So I think it'll be at the Wells Fargo Center.
Wells Fargo.
Yeah, where the Sixers play and stuff.
I think it used to be the First Union, right?
I think so. I knew it was called something else too. Dang it, what was it? The Wachovia Center. I know it was.
Yeah. Okay.
Wachovia Center. But so it'll be there. I don't know how they do it now. I think they do it on SmackDown, like after SmackDown or something. They like coincide both of them together or something.
So on Friday?
Yeah, I think it might happen on Friday. I'm not super positive about that though.
Yeah, well, right now, I don't know if we talked about it, but right now for me, I'm looking at a pretty busy week between signing for the 3 days at WrestleCon. I have a watch along Sunday evening somewhere for Mania. I have an appearance at Indigo Dispensary in New Jersey. I have a match at the ECW Arena with Mike Speedball Bailey. Very impressive match. And there's a couple other things too, and there's some things that aren't settled yet too, maybe or maybe not, with Busted Open Radio and Celebrity Boxing and trying to fit in what we can. But it's a great week if anyone's thinking about going to Philly for the WrestleMania week. Even if you don't even go to WrestleMania, there's just so many activities going on, so many different shows. I don't know specifically about Philly, but in another town recently, I heard there was like 37 different wrestling shows in the few days leading up to WrestleMania, and they're all at different buildings. Some buildings will have 4 different shows during the day, and it's really cool. And of course, at the WrestleCon, you can meet all the wrestlers that are scheduled to be there. Also, there's the Hall of Fame, and like I said, there's a few other things too that are floating in the air. I'll be pretty busy. You'll be there, right?
I'll be there. I'm going to be there all the whole week. I think I'm going to arrive there April 1st and just hang. Like Philly's my old stomping grounds where I lived, so I'll be hanging out with some buddies and stuff like that, and kind of making the experience, and kind of just hoping to get some interviews, get some good content going and stuff like that, and see what happens. But yeah, definitely, guys, go see Rob. If you see me, I'll be more than happy to say hi to you and interact with everything like that. It's going to be a fun week, Rob. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Lots of stuff before then too, and we'll get to that as well.
Absolutely. Seth, our first to chime in with the super chat, $9.99. Thanks, brother. He said, Rob, where'd you get the inspiration to shave the back of your head? I've been doing the same since the first time I saw you rocking it in '97. It wasn't common back then, maybe just shallow and monks, he says. So where'd you get the inspiration to do that, Rob?
Damn it. It's another one of those questions that I'm not really sure I can provide an answer. What's your PayPal, dude? I owe you $9.99.
There you go.
It was just, a lot of leftover growth. And at a certain point, some of the hair on the back of my neck wasn't long enough to reach into the ponytail. So then it just was all bushy and scruffy looking. And so at some point, just to clean it up, I don't know whose idea it was, though. That's what I can't tell you for sure. It could have even just been a barber. Could have said, "Hey, you want me to just clean the back of your neck up for you?" And I liked it. And everyone remembers I used to also shave the sides of my head for a while. But what happened during that time period is that it seemed like every time I would get my hair cut, which isn't very often, right now it seems like once every 6 or 7 months, maybe I go and get a little bit. Yeah. But what would happen is I would try and get it cleaned up before doing a TV or whatever. So it was a lot more often. And they would shave the sides, but the hairline kept getting higher and higher, a little higher. And in the back too. And then like when I would see footage of myself, like a camera angle from the back, it started feeling like I just had the little monk, round, just a little round piece of hair, because it was getting more and more and more like that. And I would tell the barbers, like, hey, clean this up, but don't raise it. I don't want it any higher. And that's why eventually I said, you know what, fuck it. It's going to look like shit for 6 to 12 months, but I'm going to grow the hair on my sides back in. And I remember when I did, actually, I think Paul was one of the ones, that said, you should shave your sides. And I was like, nah, I'm sticking it out. I'm committed. I'm going to go through this. Eventually it's going to tie back and it'll be like I used to. And I'll have a head full of hair instead of just a little patch. So that's the story.
There we go, man. Oh. Yeah, it's a unique look. I remember always trying to create you on video games if you weren't on there. It would be so tough because they didn't have your hairstyle. So
interesting.
Speaking of, Slam Death says RVD in 2K24 is unstoppable. So you must be pretty darn good in that game, Rob.
Nice. Yeah. That's so cool to know that that's for sure, because I never know for sure, and then there's rumors, and then it ends up not being true, or whatever. Or I don't understand. Like I didn't understand if I was on the game or not when they said a variant, because it sounded to me like something outside of the game, but you explained it's not. So that's super cool. Looking forward to people playing that, getting feedback about that. And also today I saw a new RVD action figure that's coming out.
That's right, Rob. I was going to post that up because I was like, oh, man, I kind of hope you didn't see it yet so I could surprise him. But here it is.
You see that, baby?
Yeah.
Oh, look, here it is. That's the outfit. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Dude, I love how you put the original outfit next to it to show that. That's great. That's the
really,
Mr.
really
cool. Night. That's Mr. Monday Night from 1997 when I
oh, look at it's Lovey.
Oh, little Lovey. Doing a run-in on Daddy's show. That was 97 match against Jeff Hardy on Raw.
That's right. And it's the figure line apparently is the Monday Night Wars, so that's why they have you in there, and they have.
Obviously, it's not the only time I wore it. In fact, I think I had that same outfit on when I wrestled Lance Storm at the pay-per-view leading up to it, and did that promo where I belong on Monday nights. I'm worth more money here. And more, RVD is worth more money elsewhere.
I think young RVD is my favorite impression of yours.
Sky Anton, you're going to get what no one's ever got before. A damn Terminator.
It's great. Trey Norton, $9.99. Thank you, Trey. Scott Norton. He's Trey Nelson. Jeez, I from laughing. He's like, if you had a promotion, Russo, Cornette, or Bischoff, out of the three, who would you pick as your head writer? Vince Russo, Jim Cornette, or Eric Bischoff, Rob?
Well, I mean, without having anything else to go by except for just this information, if I had to make a quick pick, I would go with my good friend Eric Bischoff.
Eric's the man.
Yeah.
He's so smart-minded with the business, and he does that show, Strictly Business on ad-free shows, which is great, and breaks it down, doesn't pull any BS, or anything like that. He's just straightforward with it, man.
Yeah, and he comes across in normal conversation as a very intelligent person, which helps. It isn't necessarily a detriment. It doesn't have to be that way in order to be a wrestling promoter, but I've always been impressed with him and always felt like he's a guy I could learn from. And I always feel like he would have the answer if I have a question,
Yeah.
Whatever the question is,
He'd be there to help out for sure.
I asked him, how do you get your IQ tested? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, I just thought you would know because I would like to do that someday. And I was just thinking about that when I was looking at you because you're a brain.
Did you ever take an IQ test, Rob?
No, and I do want to. And I've looked it up online, and it seems like you can do lots of tests online, and they get quasi respect, from the IQ community. Like some of them say that, well, the ones online are BS, and other ones say they're like 99% accurate. I don't know. I would love to do that. Like, however, but one that's accredited so that I could show afterwards, this is what I got, not just 99 cents. I don't know. I mean, not just on some Google, hey, how smart am I? But yeah, I want to. If anyone listening knows how to get that done, that's been on my bucket list for a long time.
See, that'd be sweet. And then another moniker you could have is Mr. IQ. Boom.
I'm pretty sure I would be scoring a lot higher than some of my, I don't know if they're followers or some of the
chirpers on Twitter.
Some of the wrestling fans would expect. We'll put it that way. I'm sure I'd score higher than what some of the wrestling fans would expect. Let's leave it at that.
Hey, there you go. I like it. Jim the Dawn, he says his IQ would be 420. Nice.
Hey, and that's pretty good too, from what I understand.
Yeah, that's pretty darn good right there. All right. There was a whole lot.
Do you think an IQ is based on how much knowledge you have or how smart you are? Because those are two different things, Like if you're really smart and intelligent, without any knowledge up till that point, I could put you in a situation. If you're smart enough, you could figure out how to get out of it. Whereas knowledge is who is the fucking 14th president of the U.S.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Oh. I think it's the former, Rob, where it's like you can kind of formulate how to solve problems and certain things like that. I think that's more the IQ aspect. I think,
Hope so.
Yeah, I'd be.
It should be, I think.
Yeah.
I think you should be able to be a genius and live in the woods. I mean, as far as that goes, I don't think you should necessarily have to have a photographic memory or have been exposed to information in order to be really smart.
Right. I agree. Man, yeah. Now you got me intrigued. I want to almost take an IQ test. I don't think I would do very well, to be honest. I took an SAT. I took the SATs and didn't do very good on those. I know that much.
I couldn't even spell SAT.
Hey, so a lot of buzz that happened was AEW Revolution was this past weekend. Sting had his last match. We talked about that plenty of times on here. Pretty good send-off, it seemed. He ended it on his own terms. His son showed up and stuff like that. But a big takeaway from that match, too, was Darby's big leap. Did you see the clip of him doing that by chance?
Jumped off a ladder and the heel brothers moved. One grabbed the other one and pulled him out of the way, and he crashed. Right,
crashed through the glass.
Oh yeah, looked like a pretty high free fall.
It was very, very wild.
Could use a parachute.
Yeah, right. And then I don't know if you saw the aftermath, but his back slowly started seeping blood out, and everybody was like, "Yeah, it was bad." I was like, "Holy crap!" And all I could think about was, is Darby okay? And how is this affecting Sting's last match? And so it took me out of the match a little bit. But then it also kind of added to the story as what's Sting gonna do? So
was it glass that he landed on, or
yeah? So it was either sugar glass or whatever what's the glass they use for windshield? There's a certain name for it. Somebody was telling me I think Magnum was telling me today what kind of glass it was, but I can't remember what it's called. Either way, it didn't shatter like you would see.
Do I have to know that to be a genius?
Yeah. That's a good question. I don't think so. That's knowledge aspect. Is
it bong glass?
Bong glass? Yeah. What is it, guys? Come on. So yeah, another wild spot. And then did you hear too? He's climbing Mount Everest.
Who is?
Darby.
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
that's I don't know that much about that. I mean, I know that it is used often to mark a position of chasing the dreams, of going for it, and has the mystique of not everybody can do it. But I don't know. Is that something that is that something out of 100 people that only 3 people would survive, or is it something that anyone can do? I don't know.
No, it's not. So it's last year there was a record set for the most deaths of people climbing Mount Everest.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay.
18 people died trying to do it.
18 people.
18 people. Yeah.
You know how many people successfully climbed it?
That's a good question. I don't know. You know what? That's an IQ. That's an IQ answer right there, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, I have to know that to have the full equation and understand.
Let me figure that out. How many?
I mean, it sounds cool, but I really don't know.
But he's been training for
people. Training for it because there's no oxygen up there, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gotta climb. It's miles and miles up, probably.
Right. I'm even gonna look right now here. Let's see.
That's not right. I don't know. Oh, and also, is it like one of those like where you gotta like rock climb to get to? It's probably not like a clear path. You can just take your moped up, right?
I know, right? Yeah. There's nobody paved up a road there for you or nothing.
Is it? I wonder if it's like where you gotta like throw a hook up and have a cable and have it hook into the side and pull your. It probably is. It's probably rock climbing.
Yeah.
It sounds like it would be. Sounds like a hell of a challenge to take and a hell of a feat to accomplish. So if that's what you're looking to do, then seems like a good choice. But, maybe make it original and go upside down or backward.
Yeah. Climb it with your hands, your feet first.
Do it with your clothes on backwards. No one's ever done that.
Nobody's ever thought about that.
Right.
Yeah. So apparently there was 667 summits
last year.
Last year. I don't know if that means they completely climbed it or
let's assume it means that.
So 18 people died. They said 57% of all attempts by members were successful. So over half of the people that attempted it did it successfully. Just a little bit.
So that tells me in order to go for it, you already got to be really, really prepared and one of those crazy people that can survive outside while getting attacked by hyenas during a hurricane. Those people, even just to attempt it, if over half of them are making it, that ain't your average Joe.
Yeah.
I bet, it's like, it reminds me of this. Like one time when I was in Hawaii, I was on the east side. This what's that beach called on the east side? Sandy Beach. And there was a sign that said only very experienced swimmers or professionals go in the water. And I looked at it and I'm like, I'm at the beach. Hey, you're not going to violate my rights, bro. But the waves were so big and so choppy that day. I looked at the sign and I didn't take it seriously, and I walked out there and the water was like just up to my knees. And all of a sudden this big wall of water came, boom, and it hit me and it picked me up upside down and bam, it pile drived me. And then it stuck its finger up my ass and it bowled me. It bowled me up the shore.
Whoa.
My pants were down and I was like getting off the ground, wiping sand out of my face, laughing, because I didn't know what other emotion. That was funny, right? I just broke my neck. The lifeguards were laughing their asses off. They said, bro, we were just about to come in and save you, man. You all right? I was like, I get it. Like, you got to be skilled and professional to even go out there in the knee-deep water. So that's how I look at Mount Everest. I don't think it's for your average hiker.
No way. Oh, man. Like, there'd be no way I would do it. It's like, I'm kind of okay with heights, I think, for the most part, but that's another kind of level of height, I would say.
Yeah.
Plus the elements going into play with it, too. I would not be a fan of that. But, hey, good luck to Darby. It's like,
right.
That's quite the task to do. So,
yeah, good luck, dude.
Yeah. Hey, just wanted to tell you guys about Factor meals. I'm sure you've heard these on podcasts before, but let me tell you straight from the horse's mouth, I love these things. I got the keto meal plan, and it was just amazing. 6 meals that I came in, really easy to eat, really easy to heat up and prepare. And I had so much different chicken ones. There was a pork one that was really, really good. And yeah, you'll have over 35 different options a week to choose from, including keto, calorie smart, vegan and veggie, and more. And there's even more to enjoy with over 55 nutrition-packed add-ons that help make your weekly meal planning even more delicious. What are you waiting for? Get started today and have a feel-good week of meals ready to go. 2-minute meals. Guys, I don't have a microwave. You can get those in 2 minutes. You can do them in the toaster oven too. You can do them in an oven. It's 7 minutes. And the tray that they provide for you is safe in the oven and stuff like that. And bam, it's so quick, so great. I like these things a lot. I'm telling you, it's good stuff. But you fuel up fast with Factor's restaurant quality meals that are ready to heat and eat wherever you are. Snacks, smoothies, and more. Discover a wide variety of easy options for the entire day, like breakfast, midday bites, and more. Sign up and save. We've done the math. Factor is less expensive than takeout, and every meal is dietitian approved to be nutritious and delicious. Factor is the perfect solution if you're looking for fast, upscale options done easy. Flexible for your schedule. Honestly, I'm always on the go, guys. I'm out of my apartment. I get restless in my apartment. So I'm always on the move, always doing writing outside of the work, doing the podcast here. So once I try to get prepared and get set up, last thing I'm thinking about is prepping dinner and stuff like that. So Factor really came into play and was a factor in making my day a lot easier, honestly. And the meals are great too. So get as much as you need for choosing 6 to 18 meals per week. Plus, you can pause or reschedule your deliveries anytime. No prep, no mess meals. Factor meals are 100% ready to heat and eat. So there's no prepping, cooking, or cleanup needed. Head to factormeals.com/RVD50 and use code RVD50 to get 50% off. That's code RVD50 at factormeals.com/RVD50 to get 50% off. Guys, it's a great deal too. Honestly, if you do the 6 meals, you save so much money in regards to like takeout. Like I did Grubhub all the time. And honestly, I would rack up so much money when it comes to this. This saves you so much money when it comes to even just doing 6 meals. This meal plan is great. They offer so much stuff. And guys, I want to try it more. So yes, you can do it too. Head to factormeals.com/RVD50. Use promo code RVD50. Another thing to talk about happened to be what we talked about a couple weeks ago was we were talking about Sammy Guevara's spot and when he knocked out Jeff Hardy and stuff like that. And then obviously some dirt sheets kind of didn't tell it the right way in regards to how you interpreted it. But apparently, like what you were saying was solid, kind of on Sammy for like what he did, like in just like high risk maneuver kind of thing, basically. Well, he got suspended for the spot, but it was because of communication or lack thereof, apparently. So Jeff was apparently injured earlier on in the match, or maybe right before. And protocol there is that you have to give the ref an opportunity to check on Jeff and see if he's okay, kind of thing. And what happened was that I think Sammy did the spot and then did his finisher without that happening. And so Sammy has gotten suspended from AEW because of that. So yeah, it's just like sounds like maybe he just went against the thing that they had a protocol of sorts, and could have just been whatever, nerves, just not thinking, and that kind of aspect of it all. But
so now here's one thing I'm wondering: if they're saying that Jeff was concussed before the botched move, then are they saying or implying that that's the reason that Jeff got hit in the face with a knee? Was it on Jeff in his positioning? Is that implied here?
That's where I'm kind of stuck at too, Rob, because I don't know if that was the finish of the match where Sammy.
Regardless.
Mm-hmm. Because I think maybe that's where Jeff got injured and they didn't give time to be checked on or something. And then Sammy went away with his finisher after that fact.
I see. I didn't think about that. Maybe I'm seeing it all wrong then.
Because I'm kind of looking at it that way too, because I thought that was supposed to be the ending of the match or something, and something happened. But maybe that's not maybe there was just a little bit more that went on to it. So
yeah, after the knee to the face, we're talking that time period. That makes more sense.
Yeah. So I don't
know what happened.
Yeah, exactly. Some of the details are still cloudy for that kind of thing, I think. So, but yeah, just interesting stuff. Sammy's very talented, very athletic and stuff like that. Jeff's is obviously a legend in the business too. So it's just like you hope the best for both of them when it comes to all that stuff. So.
Yeah, when I did my return to WWE, at the Money in the Bank in Philadelphia,
Mm-hmm.
2013. They had added all the concussion protocols like since I left, so I didn't know a lot of this stuff. They had sat the wrestlers down in classrooms and like taught them stuff. Same thing with social media, but so during that match, you know, if you remember, there was like a 6-man, Randy Orton and
It was the Money in the Bank match, right?
What's that?
It was the Money in the Bank match itself for the
yeah. And it was my big return in Philly.
Yeah, Philly. I was there for that actually.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. It was that whole tour was awesome, but that whole run. But before we go out there, someone told me, you know, you can't get busted open. They changed that now. Things are different. And if there's any blood, you got to roll out, you know. Yeah. And the doctor is at ringside now, which didn't used to be. And he will check you, try to stop your bleeding. And if he can stop your bleeding and you're good to go, you roll into the match, you know, and continue. Otherwise, they will stop the match. And I was like, oh, my God, what? Like going into my big return, it's all built up. I got all these guys I'm going to be doing all these amazing things with and stuff. And if I just get busted open earlier, boom, I'm done. Like that was a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And so what happens is Sheamus takes a ladder, boom, hits me like right in the face with it. I can't remember where I spouted blood from, but I was like, oh, no. And they said, go see the doctor. I'm like, fuck. I rolled over there to under the rope and the doctor's checking me. And I'm thinking, oh my God, like let me finish my story. Let
me finish my story.
He stopped it from bleeding. I rolled in and continued the match. But that to me was a major change in the business. And that, of course, was, 12 years ago. They've definitely made some changes since then that I'm not aware of that they probably should fill me in on. But, obviously, as education comes in, perspective changes as it does with time as well. So it's good that we're learning, how to be safer in a lot of these ways. As a performer, I'm not sure I'm too cool with that one. Bleed and you're out of here.
Then you're done. Yeah. It's
I guess it had a lot to do with the sponsors of the live show.
I think what was going on at that time was Linda McMahon was running for political office back then. So, and I think they wanted to be clean cut as possible, where it's like if nothing blows back on her to get dirt on her about, bloody wrestling, blah, 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 and then it gets put in the mainstream media or whatever. I think they were kind of walking on eggshells with that kind of thing, I think, at the time. Okay. So, and there's also, so I did find a little bit more about the clarity with this Sammy Guevara thing. Dave Meltzer gave further information on why Guevara was suspended by AEW. He stated that Guevara had broken Hardy's nose performing the shooting star press, and the company enforced concussion protocol, meaning they needed to finish the match immediately. However, with Guevara deciding to hit his finisher, the company was angry at him for not following instructions, and he was suspended regardless of whether or not Hardy had a concussion, which he didn't. It's unclear exactly when so he didn't have one, but it was part of against protocol when his knees hit him that they didn't give him a time to check. They're supposed to go home immediately, basically, like finish the match immediately.
And I wonder what terminology defines when we're to go home immediately, if he's might be concussed or not. Because, now, how do I know? I just drop kicked the guy. I caught him in his lip a little bit. I don't know. He might be concussed or something, should I just fucking roll him up?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing too. Well, I think what happens is they have a thing in place, maybe where the ref gets the doctor. I think they have a concussion doctor ringside now, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. Okay. But I think they need to allow that kind of opportunity to happen. So, but yeah, that's your point.
Are you saying he didn't allow that to happen?
No. So he, instead he went for and hit his finisher on Jeff after that happened. So like instead of just going like right home or having them check on, giving them the right time to check for him. I don't know. It seems it's just a sticky situation. It kind of seems.
Do you know what his finisher is?
I think it's a top rope move where it's like a Phoenix splash or something like that. Something akin to that. I know it's or Spanish fly or something. No, he wouldn't have gave him a Spanish fly. Huh.
I was trying to think of the name of that stupid move recently.
Oh, the Canadian Destroyer?
No, the Spanish fly. I feel the same way about that one. I feel like everybody does it now.
You know what's a stupid move, Rob? I bet you don't like it either, too. It's like when they put you in the tree of woe. And Del Rio, I think, used to do this or something. But, like, the guy would be hanging in the tree of woe. And, like, the guy would just kind of float there. The guy, the victim, would be floating there. And then the guy jumps down onto the dude. It's almost like you wait for the guy to stomp on you. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like stomp you down from the top rope.
I think maybe I know what you mean, but I gotta say this to that: if you have never been hung upside down on the tree of woe and had your feet folded underneath the turnbuckle, then I suggest you do that and then revisit this because it is it's not easy to get out. It fucking hurts. It hurts your calves and it hurts your shin, depending on how the fold is. But like a lot of times when I'm hanging upside down, I'm like, oh,
yes, oh man.
And
that was perfect, actually.
Boom. Yeah, no, a lot of times I'm like really like reaching up there like motherfuck, I can't wait to get unhooked because it's just like having a pain on like your calf squeezed. And sometimes you sometimes somebody needs help, I don't know if I've ever actually needed help. I know I've been close, but I think that I've always been able to get it, but sometimes it takes a lot longer than I want to. Like they really had me hooked and I'm up there and I'm like, God damn it, just because the leverage, because the way all of my weight is pulling down on my leg is making my shin go up underneath the turnbuckle, and it's fighting me. My own leg is fighting me, and it hurts. So I just want to add that. I think if anybody that's wrestled in the chat room has been in a tree of woe and has never had it hurt, I'd be surprised because, man, that's like one of those things where when it hurts, it's like getting a cramp. It's that bad. It's like, oh, you want to stop it immediately.
Yeah. All right, you sold me. I'm fine with it then. That looks tough enough for me. Like if I'm trying to escape out of that, and like your leg, oh my God, yeah.
Baby, have you ever been hung upside down in the tree of woe?
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten stuck like that?
No.
Oh. Have you ever gotten hurt? Like where it hurts your legs when you're tied up under it?
Only after I just got tattooed.
Oh.
That happened to me recently because my ankle tattooed.
They take it easy on her. She's a girl. She's the only girl in the class.
Those dang trio woes, I tell you what. Trey Nelson chimes in again. Thank you again for the $9.99.
Oh, little Lovey's got the zoomies.
Right going nuts. I love it when the pets get zoomed.
Hey, Barbie, come here, Barbie. Say hi, Barbie. We got both doggies on this week.
Look at both making cameos. Oh, look at
you act like you don't want to be on here.
He's like, oh, not right now. Oh. I didn't know she had brown paws. I thought she was pure black.
Yeah, she's got brown, and it's funny because they have like some opposite design colors. They're the same breed, so
same breed but different color.
Adorable. Barbie's a whopping 12 pounds, and then and little one there is like 3.5 pounds. Yeah.
Holy smokes, big kahuna's there.
Yeah. Our guard dogs.
Your guard dogs. Trey Nelson, he asked, do you think today's product has too much no-sell and high spots to look to choreograph? Even the wrestlers on the mic argue like children on a playground. We'll ever see another attitude era? Lots to take in there, Rob. So do you think there's too many no-selling and high spots that look choreographed? And what do you think about people on the mic exchanges, people on promos lately?
Right. Love you, baby.
I love you, baby.
Love you, D. Love you, Jennifer. Yes, I mean, what can I say? I did an interview with Bill Apter. I think this was the interview the other day where I was asked, it was either by him or maybe by someone else. I do several. But anyway, was I okay with the way that the business was changing, and that it was, maybe it was even you that asked me, but I was like, I kind of am, because I have to be, and it's evolving. It is what it is. So that is part of that. But for me, because I have, my perspective is rooted in my old school foundation. Yeah, I look at a lot of that as steering away from what it should be and what was instilled into me when I was training. So it used to be way back in '89 when I started schooling with the original Sheik. The number one rule in the business was to protect the business at all costs, because everyone made their living off of that, off of drawing fans in. They didn't want to kill the business. They didn't want to, they wanted people to be into their storylines and their matchups. It was very important and crucial for them. And I broke in where it was like, I guess, the tail end of that, probably. And because of that, it was a lot stiffer. In All Japan, we beat the shit out of each other. When I got trained with Sheik, if I ever had a black eye, a broken nose, or busted open or whatever, they always told me, it's Sabu too, it's good for the business. And I always felt like it was. All through ECW, I always loved when I had like a black eye, which was very often. And I loved it. I thought that it made me feel more like a fighter. Now, because society has changed so much, today's product of wrestling has evolved into a work safe, friendly environment with equal opportunity. It went from a good old boys secret society, behind the doors kind of club, to anybody can and should be able to do this, have the right to do it, feel like they're treated equally. And, I'm not sure it was meant to be that, but that's where I see today's product, like it's on the verge of that, of doing that transformation. And because of that, it's more important, to, not for me, but it seems like it's more important for today's wrestlers, especially if they're just trained today with today's values. I think the number one rule, instead of protect the business at all costs, now I think the number one rule, maybe, and for sure at some schools I've heard this is fact, the number one rule is safety first. And if I get asked, how'd you make those kicks look so good? It was not worrying about the safety, not having that pressure of, oh my God, I better make sure he's looking at me right now, and he's completely ready for me, and I got to make sure that I throw this kick perfect and don't hurt him. Instead, I had the opinion of, oh well, at least if I catch him and give him a mark on his face, it's good for the business. So that really was the difference in a lot of things. So now it's more about high spots. It's fans that grew up not trained the way that I was, and instead feeling like it was a more of everyone working together in a friendly, kind of non-competitive group effort. Like, it's fans that grew up thinking that became the product. And so now it's a hybrid of that philosophy mixed with some respect for the old school foundation that a few of us still carry.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've mentioned it before, and I know Sabu's mentioned it before too, is like when she taught you guys, it was all like ground wrestling and making it look like legitimately keeping the other person down and trying to beat the other person in a lot of ways. And so you have that kind of foundation of it all.
And what that did for us was it gave us a mindset, a mindset that was unchangeable, so that when we have it turned on, and we're into our character and we're in the middle of a match or a fight, we don't check in and out of it. You know what I mean? Like, we're committed. Yeah. We're committed. There's no slow mode. And that's the kind of thing that keeps us from exposing things that are now right there for everyone to see. Like, okay, look, there's 15 people standing there with their arms up, waiting to catch somebody that hasn't even gone off the other ropes yet, right? There's not room for that if you have the mindset that I do. If me and Sabu were in that group of 15 people, we'd be punching everybody around. Bam, 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 until the last second, and then we'd get hit by it, and then there'd be a reason to be on the ground. And that's just, it's not in the little things. It's in believing what you're doing and the commitment and the mindset. It's not really just the little things, you know. It's in believing what you're doing. And if they grew up not believing it, then they still don't believe in it, then they're gonna have a hard time convincing you as the watcher to believe in it.
Yeah, great point, Rob. It's always a fascinating discussion too, and I know Kevin Nash on the latest podcast, they were kind of talking about it too, and he mentioned how it's like almost like wrestling today is tailored for those 10-second clips that people see, like people's attention span of 10 seconds, and that's what a lot of it seems to be tailored for. And to a lot of people's points, I think you've mentioned it too. It's like people see like these kids grew up like my age and younger, playing video games and seeing what goes on the video games. I want to be like what it's on the video game. It's kind of not like that.
Well, I mean, a lot of times, I mean, let's face it, a lot of times it's like, boom, hey, boom, a wrestler slams a wrestler down, let's say on a table, walks down the hallway, waits in line for the elevator. Oh, elevator's full. I'll catch the next one. Next one comes on, ding, it opens up. Oh, after you, gets on the elevator, hits 3, goes up on the elevator, boom, goes out. Excuse me, how do I get to the bleachers? Oh, it's just, okay, thank you. Goes out, walks out there, and crashes through. And then the people will still pop for them, so they don't know that what they just did is the stupidest thing that's ever been done in wrestling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You want to make sure those the stakes are always there, and you don't.
It's just about the end result to them. They're not worried about protecting the business along the way because they don't think there's anything to protect anymore. But it still comes out in our art form, and that's the difference.
Yeah, 100%.
Rob, you're known for your 5-star frog splash, but some people don't get the star ratings they actually want in the bedroom. So no better time to bring this up. Hey, this episode is brought to you by Blue Chew. Let's talk about sex. Guys, remember the days when you were always ready to go? Now you can increase your performance and get the extra confidence in bed. Listen up, BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive prescription within days. The best part? It's all done online. So no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. Does it work? Don't you think you need it? Try it for free for a month and see. You're going to love it. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. Chew it and do it, baby. And we're got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free, F-R-E-E, when you use our promo code. Guess what it is? Guess what? It's RVD. That's right. Promo code RVD at checkout. You just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com. Promo code RVD to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. One of a kind, baby.
Gem the Dawn, thank you for the $2. He said, "What's the most extreme thing you did outside of wrestling, Rob? What would you say is the most extreme thing outside of the ring?"
I'm gonna here's what comes to mind, because there's different ways to take extreme as an adjective and apply it towards different thoughts, different directions. And I'm thinking, extreme sports, right? Yeah. I was a big fan when I was, I don't know, I guess a young adult or older teenager, but when they started doing the the bike tricks and I got what was that skateboard? There was three things at first. I guess it was the motocross was the other one. But anyway, I just thought, wow, these guys are doing stuff that is stunts that I saw not Danny Katz, Johnny Blaze do in the Ghost Rider comic book. He worked at a carnival stunt show and he would do these things that now have been like completely blown away. Back then it was like, whoa, he's going no-handed with his arms crossed on a motorcycle, doing a loop-de-loo and then jumping. Like, whoa! Can you imagine if someone did that in real life? And now, they've gone so far past that. But I would say for me, the most extreme thing that I've done is probably jump out of an airplane. I did it twice. I wanted to parachute and experience that. And I did it in Walterboro, South Carolina. And they offered a few different kinds. There's tandem jump, which means that your line is somehow attached to – no, tandem is you got a partner on your back, a coach with you, and you go down. Static line is somehow the cord is attached to the airplane, so when you jump, eventually it pulls the cord for you. And then the most expensive one was called accelerated free fall, in which case you are actually pulling your own cord. And I went for that one, and I did it. And I went back and I did it again. I thought that I would keep going. If you go 8 times, then you qualify for, I think, to start packing your own chute or something. And you work your way up the more trips you have. The last time I went, I remember there was a dude there. It was his 21st birthday, and his goal was to jump 21 times in that day. So like every time a plane would go up, he would try and get on every single plane that was going up. And it was fun for me. I was disappointed in the fact that I wasn't scared. It didn't feel like my heartbeat was even changed. It didn't feel, there was no nervous feel. And maybe part of that was because they gave us so much training before we go up. And you practice going for your ripcord, and you practice how to do a right turn, a left turn, and how to go in and dive, and you practice all this shit so many times during the day that at the end, when you finally go up in the plane, I felt pretty damn prepared. Felt like nothing was going to happen. If my chute doesn't open and I hit 1,000 feet, the emergency chute opens anyway. All of that, and I was depressed at the time too, because I was, going through a breakup with a girl that I was with for a long time, on and off again, and this was one of the off times, I guess. And because of that too, I have that like, I don't really care what happens to me kind of feeling that comes with that.
Right.
All that combined, I was out there like, dude, I bet my heart rate's the same right now. Like, I wanted to be like, and instead, I kind of just felt like, and you even got to practice after you jump when you're falling down, plummeting, you actually got like certain exercises you got to do. And there's a dude that's grabbed onto your fucking jacket like that, maybe 2 dudes, and they watch you practice all that. And then you get down. Oh, and then you got to look at your altimeter and read to this guy, 3,000 feet, whatever it is. Wait for him to check back. They give you so much to do. You don't really, at least for me, I didn't have time to focus on the fact that I was plummeting towards gravity's call. And then when they finally let go, it was a few seconds till it was 1,000 feet or so, and it was time for me to pull it. So, but that was pretty extreme.
I would say so. Yeah. Skydiving. That's pretty. And like doing the accelerated one too. That's another thing. Jeez.
Yeah.
Ooh, man. I don't know if skydiving. That's something I'd have to really consider to do. All right. We have Unsweet Teej. Thanks for the $5. He said, good to see you guys this evening. Rob, did you ever see the shoot video of New Jack saying he would shoot Joe Moa effing ass? I guess. Cracks me up. R.I.P. New Jack. Did you ever see that shoot interview? You know what he's talking about?
No, I didn't. I did not. I haven't seen him say he was going to shoot my.
I don't know if he meant you or just somebody in general.
Right. I'm going to, knowing what I know, I'm going to take that as if maybe he did say me. And there is a little story to that. Most people know now I make it a practice to not put negative energy out into the universe. Before, honesty was just higher on my value list than worrying about if it was negative or positive energy, until I reached a certain age. And before that, you can catch me talking shit about some people. And Sean Oliver was asking me in a youth shoot about New Jack. And I remember saying at the time that I didn't think he knew how to do a headlock. He was like what me and Sabu referred to as like garbage wrestlers. They would literally go out there with garbage cans and just hit people over the head. And a lot of wrestlers do that in death matches and such and don't know how to wrestle at all. You really don't have to know how to wrestle to be able to do all that. And at that time, I thought that of New Jack when I recalled my answer when I was asked during the interview, and that was what I gave. I said, that I didn't think he had that much, and I didn't respect him his energy either because he had a negative energy. And I think I've talked about that, but I've been around when he's been screaming like a gangster. One time that's really memorable. I'm not sure I was wrong on this one, for my feelings, but we were all in a hotel room. Normally I wouldn't be in the same room as New Jack, but maybe sometimes, but not normally. But we're all in this room for some reason in 97. I don't know, maybe 98. I was thinking these are two different times I just thought of, but Brian Pillman had just died.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is actually not 2007. I'm talking about 90, 98, 99.
Yeah.
98. I think it's 98. Anyway, we're in a hotel room and we're talking about it. The fact that the news had just came out and everyone's just like in the room, all the boys are just like, man, I can't believe he died. Damn, it was a really morbid kind of energy, kind of somber. Everyone was just like, God, he was just here. And then New Jack goes, well, good. I hope he is dead. I hope he died. And if he didn't die, then I hope he does die. And I hope he's dead. And I hope he's in the ground right now already. And I hope worms are eating his eyeballs. And that was one of my first impressions of New Jack, where I really was judging him as, who is this dude that I'm alone in a room with, that I'm around, that I'm not normally around, except for like the dressing room where there's a bunch of people. And I did judge him by that and thought, not the kind of guy that I want to hang out with. and also, that just sounded like a fucking horrible thing to say. And so I did answer Sean Oliver's answer accordingly. And then he interviewed New Jack and he asked New Jack about me. And he said, did you ever see this where RVD's talking about you? And he showed New Jack that video. And then New Jack was like, well, damn. Well, I never knew RVD felt like that. Well, he should have said something then. Well, fuck him then. Well, fuck RVD then. He should have said something to me. You feel like that, man. Shit. No, fuck him. No, fuck him. And I saw New Jack shortly after that in Rawway. But I had made my change to where I was like, that's not me anymore. Like I didn't feel, one, I don't, want to fucking put negative energy out there anyway and talk bad about people. But also, I looking at the bigger picture, there's other times around New Jack where he does show like a human side, and I figure, I don't know how much he's into character and how much he commits to it. And also, I don't know what his beef was with Brian Pillman. I mean, he had something personal with him. I thought it was rude and callous to call that out in front of everybody. And I mean, I still will look at it like that in front of a bunch of people that were hurt, that were mourning his loss. But either way, I went up to New Jack, when I saw him. And, I was just like, I could crush this guy. Hey, New Jack. Hey, bro. Nah, it's all good. And anyway, I saw him a couple times after that at conventions and just treated him like you know, like, hey, he's just that dude that used to do that. I don't know why he made those choices, but firsthand experience, he didn't do nothing to me. And really, like a lot of times, I feel like it's best to judge people from that. But that was my firsthand experience, was hearing him say that. And another time in Boston, after he gimmicked that kid, sliced that Eric Koulas kid open, his forehead.
Yeah.
He was in the back, New Jack, while everyone was trying to get him out the back door so he didn't get into trouble with the cops and shit. And they were saying, dude, you fucking boom, boo, boo. Hey, man, no, seriously, bro, the kid is fucked up. He said, good, man. I hope he die. I hope he fucking die. And that was, you know, like 97, like my first year, or within my first, you know, 12 to 18 months of ECW. So I was like, that was the New Jack that I knew. So that's who I was commenting on.
Yeah.
Maybe he might have said something about I'm going to shoot you or whatever. Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. Jeez. Yeah. But yeah, like Brian Pillman. Yeah, he passed away. It probably was late 97, Rob, because it said October 5th, 1997 is when he passed away. So probably just a tail end there. But yeah, craziness. Let me see here. Hey, we got this episode. I got to do a sponsorship. This episode is sponsored by Get Blitzed. Get Blitzed. It's a Lit Aid nano-infused THC syrup, and it is premium cannabis-infused syrup formulated with nanotechnology for fast-acting effects. It stands out with its advanced nanotechnology formulation, which allows for quicker onset and enhanced potency compared to regular THC syrups. It can be mixed with your favorite beverage, such as soda, tonic water, juice, or used as a drizzle on food for a delicious cannabis experience. Guys, it is legal in all 50 states. It's by Mickey Ray Sinatra and Courtney, based out of Maryland. So if you're in the Maryland area, you can get it there. But you can go to get-blitz.com right now and use promo code RVD to get 15% off. That's 15% off all your whole order of it. And they have packages you can get, or you can get single bottles. Plenty of different flavors, from cherry to key lime pie to, I believe, pina colada. There's a whole lot more too you guys can check out. So go to get-blitz.com and use promo code RVD to get 15% off your order. Check out getblitz.com. So thank you, Get Blitzed. All right. Rob, something else that kind of tied into what we mentioned before about you making, when you left WWE, like was it 2007 you made your leave? Was it in it? Okay. Yep. Okay. So Mercedes Mone, who's a hot free agent right now, a lot of people are speculating she's going to show up.
Is hot.
Yeah. Heyo. Showing up at Big Business potentially next week at AEW. She was asked about when she walked out on WWE back in May of 2022. And she said, that's a big question. That's a big, big question. I really believe not only in the universe, but I believe in myself and a higher power of light that comes over me. Something inside me told me that I needed to go and do this and stand up for myself. It was a very hard decision because wrestling in WWE has been my whole life. People don't know, it's been my whole life. It's the hardest decision I've ever had to make in my whole life, but it's the proudest. It's crazy because I would not be sitting here living the best version of my life and getting to be everything I've ever dreamt of. And more. It makes me so excited because that moment changed my whole life for the better. I'm so thankful for that moment. I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of Trinity, who is Naomi in WWE, of just how strong we were. Everybody wanted to talk about it. Everybody wanted to act like they were in the room. Everybody wanted to act like they were in the room or worked there or were backstage or knew what happened or knew what was said. All I know is I handled it like a CEO, like the boss that I am, with my head held high. I can't say anything but amazing things to WWE. I'm so thankful for the career they gave me, the fans they gave me, the life they gave me, the dreams that they gave me. So many dreams. I got to chase and live them all. I got to do so much more. I have a lot of unfinished business in wrestling in a lot of places. So, yeah, Rob, when I read that quote, it made me think of you and like how you kind of you thought it was for your best interest to leave, and it ended up being that for you, right?
Yeah, it's really cool to hear her sound like she was speaking from my perspective, because somewhere Katie saw where I don't know if it was an interview or maybe she even told Katie, I don't know, but that I inspired her to be a wrestler, that she saw me somewhere, whatever. I'm sure it wasn't just me, but I can't remember the story. but that I, and so when you mentioned her, I thought of that right away. And then when you were talking about her saying when she decided to be a wrestler, this and that, I was like, is he going to mention me? Because I need a reminder on how that went. But I'm a fan of hers as a fan, and I like her, personally. She's super cool, and just she's got that swagger, she's got that appeal to where everyone's going to want to follow her and see what she does, where she ends up. That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty darn cool, and it definitely made me think of you and your situation too. And that's awesome that she.
Once you got a brand that people really care about, man, it carries over. And, you put enough time into your brand, it'll carry on, longer than your flesh will.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 100%.
No.
Ryan Birch, thank you for the $5. He says, great comment about catching wrestlers earlier. I appreciate it when a wrestler is getting pinned and isn't staring at the ref so they can kick out. So that's another aspect that
it's something that bothers me personally is when they don't even fucking kick out. They think that just like making a jerking movement is good enough and their shoulders are still down. I will pause it every time I see that and rewind it and point that out to Katie and say, watch, they're still pinned. 1, 2, 3. The shoulders never fucking left the mat. They didn't even try. All they did was kick their feet out. Like, who taught them that that's a kick out? And it's like sometimes I get like, oh, I need to have a seminar. Then I'm like, no, I'm not going to want to do that.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, but there's really no platform to reach all the talent and share with them what I could share with them that would help them. At least, well, like she said, like Mercedes said, the universe will provide a time and place if it's ever organic and meant to be. But as far as like teaching people and stuff, I don't think I have the patience, and I really don't want to reach people in the business by talking outside of the business like this, Mm-hmm. So that's the paradox there, or the complex situation anyway. So, but that bothers me though. Yeah, they look at the ref and they watch, and then half the time they're pinned anyway, and I'm like, why did the ref not count 3?
Right? Yeah. I also heard William Regal when he did his podcast. He would talk about how putting the effort into pinning, like, is something that a lot of wrestlers don't do. Like, you may have to make it look like you're kind of pinning the guy, and he'll make note of a lot of that when he sees that not happen too, when there's just a casual pin. And sometimes you'll have a cocky pin to tell the story, but then other times you just like, there's no reason for like not having a good pin.
One time after, this is when TNA, the first run through there. So this is like 2012. And Bruce Pritchard was there in Gorilla, and when I walked back after my match, and I mean he'd been there for a long time too, long time.
Yeah,
I walked through the Gorilla position, which is when you walk by the agents, producers after your match, and he says, Rob. And he calls me over, and I'm like, oh my God, someone's going to actually say something to me, because nobody ever gave me any feedback about anything when I was there, which is one of the reasons that made it, one of the easiest jobs ever. But at the same time, like I just, like I said, I had both runs in TNA. I have no idea how the office felt about their investment in me. But anyway, Rob, you have something to say about my match? I went, he goes, Rob, after you did the Rolling Thunder, when you covered him, you put your hands on his shoulder instead of just like laying across him. I said, yeah. He said, yeah, and you were like pressing down on his shoulder with your weight. I said, yeah, I do that every time. He goes, I just want to point that out, that I saw that. That was cool. I appreciated that, that difference.
Yeah.
He meant it as a compliment, but then when I walk away, that just showed me that he's never, ever seen me ever do a cover after Rolling Thunder, or at the end, even after a Frog Splash. Basically, it tells me that he's never watched me or paid attention, because I always do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had heat from some keyboard fans saying that's disrespectful to not hook their leg, like for the fans and stuff. And somewhere I got along the line of when I lay across them, I put all my weight like on their shoulder to try to hold it down. And he meant it as a compliment, but it came across kind of insulting because I'm like, dude, you're looking at that monitor every match I've had for the last 12 months, and you just noticed that tonight.
But dude, like I like that too. Like, yeah, making sure you. Sometimes, like I think cooking the leg is not as disrespectful as like if you keep the pin down on the shoulders. That's where you got to keep.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. You work the way you work. Whatever. I don't think everyone should do it the same anyway. But I'm trying to hold them down to get the cup. To get
Yeah,
the
that's it.
win.
Jem the Dawn chimes in again for the $2. Thanks, Jem. He says your water spitting promo on Triple H was hilarious.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, I got a lot of. That's one that goes down in the history books, I guess, because fans will always find the meme and post it, talk about it. Yeah. I think it was a combination of who I was picking on, making fun of, and also the fact that of what I was pointing out. Okay, you spit water. Ooh. Yeah, that was fun.
Yep. Okay, Rob, we'll close out with this stuff here. Something I was kind of making note. I was like, probably look to see what happened on this day in history, like, when it comes to like when the podcast drops. So we drop every Monday at 4:20 p.m. Guys. So if you want the episode, go
Premiere.
to
On Premiere, that's when it drops.
Premiere will drop early on Premiere, but every Monday at 4:20 p.m. we drop on podcast feed, all podcast feeds, and we'll drop on rvdtv.com too. So check them out there. And so on this day in history, which will be March 11th, it will be on Monday. But on March 10th, 1993 is when Dino Bravo got killed and his mafia ties that he had. He was found shot dead home while watching hockey in Vermont-Laval, Quebec. He was shot 17 times, it says, 7 in the head and 10 in the torso. Though there were allegations that he's involved in a cigarette smuggling ring, it was never officially proven. Rick Martel, a fellow Canadian wrestler and friend of Bresciano, which is Dino Bravo's real name, believed his popularity in Montreal area had upset some members of the mafia. Bresciano, a nephew of the Montreal crime boss Vic Cotroni by marriage, may have been linked to Cotroni's organization. In the days prior to his death, Bresciano confided in the friends that he knew his death was imminent, like it was coming. And Bresciano's murder had never been officially solved. Rob, were you kind of fascinated by that aspect, being a mafia fan, and then obviously this Dino Bravo, a notable wrestler?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, dude, for sure. And I like Dino Bravo even as a fan. I remember him setting the bench press record. The world bench press record was like 705 pounds or maybe 712. Both of those sound right. I saw a guy with my own eyes bench over 900 pounds recently in front of me, and I went back. And I remember when the world record. I said that to him afterwards. This was at the Mr. Olympia. I don't know if I've ever even put that video on yet on my YouTube page, but I have the footage. I think I still have to edit that. Damn it. Doing it this week.
Definitely.
So many plates. 910, I think, or 908. But anyway, he was a fan afterwards. He's like, can I get a picture? I'm like, bro, what the? I said, do you remember when the world record, when Dino Bravo did like just over 7? And he was like, yeah. And he's like, he's just, fanboying, look at can we do another one? And anyway, that was impressive as shit. And that was a big part of my fandom, the years that I grew up watching it. Jesse Ventura only helped 2 pounds worth when he pulled on the bar because he's got expert fingers. But yeah, I had to go back and visit that one time when I was like, wait a minute. I'm like totally fascinated by all the mafia history. Dino Bravo got killed by the mafia. I need to go back and like really dive into that and see what, how that relates to the world that I know now. And so yeah, I did that, and Dino, it appears he was actually working for them, and it makes sense, that someone like that, there's so many stories, guys, especially big guys like that, when they're in neighborhoods where everyone's mafia, a lot of times those guys end up, just going and collecting debts for them, because one of the main businesses that the mobsters do is putting their money out on the streets. and they charge a vig, and 3%, 5% a week, whatever. Put $1,000 out there, and if someone has to pay you back $200 a week every single week until they give you the full original $1,000 back, you can make a lot of money with that. But how do you get them to pay you? And you need people like Dino Bravo to go shake them down, and hey, don't make me come after you. You every Friday you need to be there paying them your fucking vig. And Dino did that for a while. His uncle was Victor Catroni, who was the boss of the Montreal Mafia. The ownership went back and forth from the Rizzutos to him, and they're related as well, the Catroni and the Rizzutos. And the Rizzutos, they worked with the American Mafia, with the Bonanos, and so they're a lot more known in our history than the Catronis. But up there, man, that was the boss, and it seems like Dino got into a little bit of trouble, from what I understand. There was a warehouse full of untaxed cigarettes, and he was trying to make some money on the side, middlemaning a deal, and the pickup didn't happen in time, and the product stayed in the warehouse a little too long. So when the pickup was there, the cops were already there, and everyone got busted. And I also heard maybe a little cocaine got introduced into the whole equation. And he was. I think it's fair to say he was an associate, and he was doing some mafia work. And then boom, after that bust, man, they must have just figured that he could bring everybody down, because that's what they do. Anybody that has information, they seem to whack them out so that they don't get in trouble. They hire you to go do a job, and you do it either because you're hired or out of respect, out of your commitment and love and patronage to the family, everything, and you do it, the job, and then if someone gets busted, then boom, they cut the line off right there, and you got to die just so that they don't get in trouble. That's how they operate. Just like with a lot of people know the movie Goodfellas. Everyone gets whacked there because of the bank heist. Everyone that had any information, Frank Burke, who Robert De Niro plays Jimmy Conway, that's based on Fred Burke, and he whacked everybody that had any knowledge of it so that he wouldn't get told on. And it's just it's such a God complex in perspective to have everyone's lives in your hands like that, and to figure that wiping their lives out is worth saving yours or just extending it for a little bit. And then sometimes you end up going to prison anyway. And then do they regret it? Do they feel like, well, damn, I guess I didn't have to kill those 13 people anyway. It didn't even do any good.
Gee whiz.
Crazy. But yeah, so yes, Dino Bravo, man, I saw him live lots of times. Saw him at the Kellogg Center wrestling, and he was part of WWE right then when I was like, man, I want to wrestle, and I was going to every show that I could. Yeah.
Oh, man. What a dude too. He was only 44 when he got killed. And on top of that too, he claimed that it was 715 pounds was the record. So
okay,
that's at least what I read on the internet. So take that for what you will, guys.
His aunt was married to Victor Catroni.
Yeah, because it was his uncle-in-law, apparently, is what they were saying. But, man, holy smokes. I know they did a Dark Side of the Ring on him. I got to watch that. I think that'd be pretty fascinating.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, Rob, your day in history, actually, in 2002, March 11th, it was Monday night, and it was a Raw. You actually tagged with the Hardy brothers, the Hardy Boys, to take on the Dudleys and William Regal, and you guys won the opening match there. It was in Detroit, Michigan. So there you go. How about that?
Right on. Sounds like a good match.
Sounds like a darn good match. And that was actually the night too. The main event was the NWO. So Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Hulk Hogan took on The Rock and Steve Austin in a handicap match. So pretty big time there for WWE going on. Yeah, a lot of big stars stuff happening on there. So there you go. Little moment in history for you there, Rob. So there we go.
Yeah, see, Seth says IQ tests are 100% reasoning and problem solving. I wonder if he knows where you get it done. Like, what do you do?
Can you get a IQ hookup?
Do you go to a primary doctor and get a referral? How the fuck does that work? I
How
don't
does
know.
it work exactly? That's a good point. Jeez.
I tried to look it up in the phone book, but I couldn't spell IQ.
Dang it. I think it starts with a C.
No.
I don't know. I want to thank Layla. She's been chatting a lot in the chat too, chiming in. And Layla, hey, tying into Goodfellas there.
You don't want to hear me sing. That's all I do.
If you had to do karaoke, Rob, one song you had to pick, what would it be?
I can't imagine having to do it anyway.
Yeah, it's in some wild circumstances.
Yeah.
Do karaoke.
I remember when I was like 23 years old, 24 years old in Japan. And sometimes they'd hand the microphone to me when it's going around and I'd feel the pressure. And it was like Bobby Duncan Jr. used to like doing On a Sing Horse I Ride, Bon Jovi.
Oh, yeah, Bon Jovi. Dead or
Dead
Alive.
or Alive. Wanted Dead or Alive. Bobby used to love singing that song. And I remember when sometimes they would hand it to me. Dude, this was probably the same time that I went skydiving because same breakup, same girl. But I remember when I'd get the microphone, I would change all the words, and say, she's such a whore. What was I doing? I should have known. I shouldn't have been screwing her. I was just like trying to make people laugh. But that's never been me. I don't know. Isn't that weird? Like they want to I don't know. I always get on this where music is just a thing. Why is it everything? It's so everything that people want to sing other people's songs that people are getting paid to sing. But I got asked yesterday on an interview about my song, my favorite song or my go-to or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was saying, man, do you ever think about like you wake up to music on an alarm and you listen to music when you get ready and you listen to it in the car on the way. And if you listen, and it's like if you watch TV or you say, hey, I want to choose a different art form that's not music. I want to watch reality TV. Okay, but then you're going to get music at the opening, music on the commercial jingles, music up to not translate. What's the word? Not transfer, translate, transfer, transit. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm stuck. Anyway, I was just explaining. I find it crazy that everyone subscribes their whole spirits and souls to music all day long. It's music everywhere. And so, anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up because I was saying that yesterday, and he seemed to understand me. I'm like, I don't expect everyone to agree with me, but it's weird. And it's like, to me, going and doing karaoke with other people is like, that'd be about as fun for me as, I guess, mud wrestling in a bikini. Mm-hmm. That's okay. It's okay for girls, but not me.
Yeah. I know some people, if I get enough booze in me, I will do karaoke.
But do you understand what I'm saying about like music isn't everything? Let's say it's an art form. Yeah. Pick any other art form. How can you get there without music? You can't. It's part of every other art form too.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to listen to music. I want to watch wrestling. Okay, but obviously there's music while you're sitting down, music while they come out, music. And it's just like it's so big and it's so everywhere. And people, and you don't have to admit, but I think you'll admit that music at least partially dissipates your focus. 100%. Whether you're tapping your foot to a thank you. Mm-hmm. Could be maybe you're singing words to a song that you heard earlier, but boom, that's where part of your thoughts and brain are. So when people listen to music, it's like they want to be plugged in to cruise control and let the music take them. And I can't, and for me, that feels counterproductive to what I want out of the day, to be plugged in and going through cruise control all fucking day. That's just how I feel. I mean, I agree. I think that makes me weird because I know most people probably don't feel that way, but it's just a thing. It's a thing. When we're in the car, I will mostly have the radio off. If Katie's in the car with me, I'll call it what it is. I'll be like, do you want to listen to people sing and play musical instruments?
Just literally say it.
What it is, right?
Yeah. Well, but you're right though, Rob, because honestly, like when I listen to music all the time, and like if I go to the gym, I'll have music, I'll have headphones in, or if I'm doing something, I'll walk into Starbucks, I'll have headphones in. Music, and it's a way to go to the music and almost like a distraction, cruise control. I think that's a great way to put it. Is cruise control. It takes you away from maybe certain elements or puts you in a different mindset of what you want to be, in a certain way. So
you're not learning anything new, right? Unless it's a new song or something.
No, I'm connected. I feel connected maybe with a song and I feel positive inspiration or something to get it somewhere.
And I do that sometimes because I feel energy. So like my ring music, Pantera or One of a Kind, or fucking a Little Higher. I fucking love that song. It makes me happy. It raises my spirit. So I feel the energy and shit, but it's such a small part of my chosen day. Like I don't like to go to concerts.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't bought a CD since I was probably fucking 18 or something. And it's just, it's one of those things, that sets me apart. So
I think too, it's almost another level when you're able to do stuff like in silence, like you live with your own thoughts, you live with your own mind and what you bring to it. So if you're working out or whatever you're doing, if you're just working out in silence, I think I tip my cap to people all the time that are able to do that. I think that's pretty darn cool because it's tough to kind of get yourself motivated or whatever you need to do sometimes with that stuff. So
one thing that I'll hate, and I'll say this since Katie's not in the room, it's like if she's like singing to the radio or something, and like I'm trying to talk to her, and she's got to finish the lyrics to that paragraph first or whatever before she can pay attention, even though it's something she's been listening to for 10 years or whatever, and I'll be like, what time do you got to go to such and such? And she'll be like, it will be on your back and you don't know that's whack. What?
Yeah.
Never mind.
Just forget it. We'll talk later. Speaking of Seth, he chimes in again. Thank you, Seth, for the 10. Yeah.
I'm a fucking 1099 at the end of the year.
How about it, huh? You can be very high IQ, but without knowledge, wisdom, and discipline, you'll still be a fool. Humility is the best indicator of overall intelligence because it requires all three. Wow.
Ooh, you gave us like a riddle or something, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I want to know how you get it tested, though. That's really, like, I don't know if someone could just put it in the chat room or something, but I really don't know. And I've Googled it, and you can pay to do it online. But I just feel funny, like, if I was, like, bragging to people, like, dude, I scored a fucking whatever. And they were like, oh, yeah, where'd you get it done? I was like,
online.
Yeah, paid $9.99
on the internet.
That is legit. I don't know.
I printed out the certificate.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And they should do that at college or something, maybe, right? They should.
Yeah, I bet you there's got to be a way where you can get like a good one. Would you go out of your way to go and actually take it like at a physical place or something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, we should figure.
Probably be better somewhere else than home. Just like if I'm writing or something, it's hard to do when I'm in my comfort zone.
Right. No, I would definitely be interested in seeing that. I bet you would do good on it, Rob. This is not a super chat, but this is a cool one.
Anybody that wants to bet against, we can take those wagers too. That'd be fun.
We'll take some wagers. Put them in the super chat. Wager amount. Bears Bound 80809 says, Dom, out of all the podcasts there are, you truly have the greatest spot being the host of Rob's. This is seriously the most informative podcast in wrestling and life in general. Grateful for you. Jennifer.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Right on. Very cool.
Yep. Good stuff. There's another
good cool. Yeah. Fucking and that's good. I guess that's who'll stick around is people that like hearing life advice and stories and everything that we bring It's like for those who are interested, we do it a little different here, right?
We do. We cook things up a little differently around here. We have a different recipe. So cool.
Yeah.
Rob, did you have an RVDology? You want to just wait till next week? We can do that. Whatever works.
Well, let's go. Let's do some of these plugs that we keep forgetting about.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Jeez, oh man. Thanks for reminding me, actually. Okay. Yeah, Rob, so you sent me this last week. Talk about that a little bit.
Okay, yeah. So this is my friend that he's my friend from Amsterdam, and he wrote this book on the whole effing couple, RVD and Katie Forbes. And is that all I sent you? Was that
you sent me for the book itself? I believe.
Okay, because there's a link to order it.
Oh, you sent me the link. What I will do is I'll screenshot it on there, so when people can see it, and I'll link it in this week's episode too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, whatever we can do to help them out. I haven't read it, so let me know if you get a chance to read it. I'm learning just right now. Like, I was this many years old when I really started to understand artificial intelligence.
Oh yeah.
I think most likely that was what he used in this book, because he's not an expert on Rob Van Dam and Katie Forbes, but there's just thumbing through it. There's a lot of stuff in there, and it wouldn't have come from his firsthand knowledge. But he did do an interview with me and an interview with her, and then put that together with this book. But man, I had another friend, Joe Clark. We did Headstrong together, and he's been on the show. Yeah, so we've talked about some ideas, like a reality show with me and Katie. We talked about some ideas, and then he sent me this huge email, and he said he ran this stuff through AI and came up with this pitch. I had no idea what he was talking about. Like, I just didn't know, and now I'm starting to understand, because I was playing around with it a little bit, and I had no idea this AI actually has reasonability and thinks and has decision-making power. And I had no idea. I thought it was reaching and just bringing me articles that it could find online. I didn't know it was rewording them and talking about those articles in another perspective that didn't even exist until we started this conversation. And it's like blowing my mind. I can't wait to learn more about it, especially how I can learn to use it to help me in my life somehow.
Right. Yeah. It's wild, because I'll see stuff you'll see like descriptions or something, or YouTube descriptions or whatever it may be, certain things, or even like artwork or whatever. And like people input this stuff in the AI and then it produces something. Sometimes I know I've seen on your Twitter, Rob, sometimes people do AI art of you and stuff like that. I've seen and stuff. So
well, I have seen like some mafia videos, and I didn't understand the whole thing, but I knew that it was AI doing the narration, because one, the voice sounds robotic with the speech patterns, and also it would be a little repetitive, and it would mispronounce names, and I knew, and I didn't like, because it was repetitive, it's too much. A lot of those are. Yeah. But I didn't realize how they were being put together, and what people were using, which I guess is an app or whatever, and then saying, hey, fucking do all this work and tell the story. We want to talk about Al Capone in the 1920s and tell us everything you could. And it reasons, and I know I'm the last one, so everyone listening already understands it and stuff, but I'm fascinated with it. And I've had a couple people tell me that they use it, and I'm like, I got to use it. I don't know how yet, but I didn't get it. I did not get it. Now I want to watch every movie on AI, including that Will Smith one.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I don't know. Now I want to.
I'll go back and watch it.
I just think of Terminator, when it's like us, the robots, because I have seen the robots that move like humans, whether they're dancing or doing flips or anything, and that's crazy. But combining that with the intellectuality, I want to say the robot brain, but I don't even think it exists. When I think of robot, I think of like physical steel.
Yeah, right.
yeah, this just seems to be like an intelligence and an ability to grow and adapt to learning more. And of course, it's scary, just like fucking Terminator with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right. It's like, but it's like this invisible being. Like, it's like, okay, you input all this stuff. There's so many elements that you can put into it. When's it going to become too much and it's going to like just take over the human race?
Yeah.
Mm.
I feel like everyone probably is way ahead of me on this, but if not, if anyone else is hearing this and they're shocked, you got to look into it.
Rob, I'm behind on it. Like, I barely use it. I don't even know how to input stuff on there. I never do the graphic stuff. I never do anything with AI really. And so I'm like, I'm intimidated by it. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not messing with it right now.
I was like talking to that Chat GPT, I think it's called. Yeah. Jennifer was showing me, and I kept asking more questions, and it wasn't stuff that was reported. It was like, you got to do some homework and find out for me,
Yeah.
I was like, I said, did Marshall Caifano and Johnny Roselli cross paths in a timeline in Las Vegas? And then I went through, and it was saying, that this, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, can you elaborate on that and say specifically, like, what reports are, chronologically listed when Marshall Caifano was here and what reports listed when John Roselli was here? And, man, it was like talking to a person. It wasn't just spitting the facts back like it was finding an article and giving it to me. It was reasoning with me and saying, it's hard to conclude that they were for sure, although it's likely at some time that their paths would have crossed since they were both there, in the 50s and the early 60s. And it was like, I was just like, I'm talking to
a robot.
I'm baffled.
I'm baffled too, Rob.
Yeah.
It's wild stuff. The other thing you wanted to cover last week, which is a really cool thing, and he actually showed up at Sting's last match, Scotty Riggs.
Damn, look at my brother Scotty. Holy
yeah, how was that? So
yeah, that was like 6 months, which is a really, really quick dramatic change, and he's working with DDP. Scotty was living in his truck. I was keeping in touch with him, man. He's a proud dude.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't want you to send me no money. Like, what if I just call and get a hotel and just go stay there just for the night, and get warm or something? I don't want that from you. I'm fine, as long as you're still there for me or whatever. Of course, now he's in a total different position. And man, there's a video that we got this from. This was the thumbnail from it. Damn, what is the video called? I can't tell anyone how to look for it now. I think it's called Novia.
Let me just.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Maybe that's what it's called. But it's Novia is the denture place. And he had like no teeth, and they gave him teeth and then showed him his smile. And the whole episode was so inspirational. I was smiling from ear to ear watching it. And it was just like, it was so cool to see him get into shape and get confident. And according to Katie, he's a handsome dude too. I look at him and I think, he looks successful. I would think that guy is a entrepreneur of some kind of business. I don't know what he does, but if I didn't know him,
Yeah.
So that's definitely worth mentioning. He told me he was going to be on camera during Sting's retirement match. So I guess hopefully they showed him.
He was there. They showed him. They mentioned him too on air too.
Awesome. Yeah. So
he was sitting ringside with Magnum TA, Lex Luger. Well, no, was Lex Luger there? Magnum TA and somebody else. Oh, Nikita Koloff was there too, and then Scotty Riggs was ringside. So
cool.
Pretty darn cool. And the video, guys, if you do want to check it out, go to on YouTube. The transformation of Scotty Riggs. Type that in. It's part 2. And
that's right.
And Rob, you said too, it's Novia Dental Implant Center. So
what an inspirational video, man. It's like 9 minutes. And I was watching that, and it just made me happy watching that. I was like, man, I got to remember to mention that on the show to people that want to bring your energy up. Watch that. It's a really inspirational video. Scotty's a good guy. He's proud. And as you see, he was shown that it's never too late. never too late to be moving in the right direction.
100%, Rob. Hey,
Yeah.
this episode moved in the right direction, Rob. It was a lot of fun. We covered a lot of ground and got a
This
lot of
weekend, wait, when does this? Is not Friday, right?
That's right. Yes. So, Rob, you have a little something going on this weekend.
March 9th. I'm in Chillicothe, Ohio. First ever match between RVD and Matt Riddle.
Bro, wow.
Yes,
How about
sir.
that?
And that is Saturday in Chillicothe, March 9th. March 10th, I'm in Clay, New York, which is right outside of Syracuse. And I am appearing at the Ravens. What is it?
Ravens Joint.
Ravens Joint. Yeah, Ravens Joint is they're having their grand opening this weekend. It's a marijuana dispensary. It's going to be a huge deal. You can find the details and information for RVD's appearance at meetrvd.com. They went all out for this appearance. And this is, I haven't looked to see if this is on meetrvd.com. It probably is. But the guy told me since it's a dispensary and kids aren't going to be coming to meet RVD there, he asked me if I could stop by this other place too, where the kids can see me. And so I'm doing another appearance there afterwards, I suppose. And so you might want to look at meetrvd.com and see if information is on there, if you've got some chillins or if you're not an adult. And that way you don't miss out on seeing the whole effing show, yo, bro.
Rob, I think it's Market Fair North, it might be, is what maybe it says. It says, meet Rob Van Dam, WWE Hall of Famer, world-renowned professional wrestler who gained widespread acclaim in high-flying martial arts influenced wrestling style. Market Fair North in Clay, New York. So take a look. Yes, go to meetrvd.com. They have the event information and the photo opportunities and all that stuff. So if you have some kids, maybe you can bring them and check them out and meet Mr. Monday night, Mr. Wednesday night, Mr. Every damn day of the week. So there you go. How about that? Oh, we got another super chat that chimed in here. Naval Nation 2, thanks for the £5. How long you in AEW for? Are you part-time contract or when they need you like an agency? Rob, you're set up basically when Tony calls you, right? Basically,
yeah. It's not him that personally calls me. I mean, he has, you know, it started that way. And now I talk to, I guess you guys probably do want to know. I was going to say you guys probably don't care, but you probably do care. Sanjay.
Oh, okay. Sanjay. Nice.
And he'll text me and say, hey, RVD, can you work, you know, next Saturday, March 15th in, or sometimes it'll say where, or else he won't say where. Sometimes he'll say where. Otherwise, you know, can you work next Wednesday, March 20th or whatever? And I'm like, I sure can, dude. And then we do it. And that's it. You know, this current booking that I have on the table for 420 is the second most time that I've been allotted for a match after it's booked, you know. So I've had 5 matches and then one booking that was just my first appearance with Jungle Boy. Yeah. And so that one was seems like it was at least 8-9 months in advance, that first one.
Wow.
Every other one has been like a week in advance. And then I got this 420 one coming up that they must have something special in mind because they reserved that I guess a couple of months ahead of time. So yeah, I don't have any kind of a long-term commitment with them, just a great relationship. I love being an independent contractor. I am a gun for hire, bang, bang. And it works out great, I think, for both parties, hopefully for everybody at this point.
Damn good relationship right there.
Oh.
How about that? Cool. Rob, anything else you want to mention before we end the show here?
No, I think I think maybe we covered it all. We talked about the action figure. When is that coming out? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I think I know it's not available to order yet, and I think it's a Walmart exclusive if I read that correctly too. But such a
Okay.
cool figure. Definitely keep your eyes peeled for that. And any information we'll be sure to promote it on here. So
Right on. Yeah, man. We'll go take care of the weekend, knock out Ohio, and then go straight up to New York. A little bit of travel, but we'll suck it up. We'll get it done. We'll meet a bunch of fans. It'll be awesome. And then we'll come right back here next week.
Next week here on One of a Kind with RVD. Thanks, Rob, and thanks everybody for tuning in.
Thanks, Tom.
Yepper, you know
Van
it.
Dam. Thanks, Van Dam fam. See you next week.
See you next.